Hey everybody, this is Matt and we're at Texas Toast Guitars. Thanks for watching. So Chris and I returned from the 2017 Winter NAMM show and we had a blast. We saw lots of really cool stuff. Let's just get right to it. If you've had a chance to see any of my man on the street interviews, you'll know how much of a fan I'm becoming of the Richlight product for guitar fretboards. So one of the things I wanted to do is I wanted to go up to the Gibson booth and see if I could find one in real life and tell the difference between that and an ebony fretboard. So we made it up to the Gibson booth and man, this thing is packed, of course. But I did have a chance to talk with a couple of the people from Gibson and they had some cool new stuff that you might have missed. So let's talk a little bit about the Richlight here real fast. It was hard to find a Richlight board, mostly because there was so much action going on, people playing stuff. But while we were looking, the guy I was working with, he was telling me a story about two of the Gibson Lucille models, the B.B. King signatures that they made, one with an ebony fretboard and one with a Richlight fretboard. And then they gave them both to B.B. without telling him. And apparently he chose the Richlight one. He was like, yeah, this one sounds the best. I'm going to play this one. Now, take this with a grain of salt because, I cannot vouch for the accuracy of that story. But I think what they're trying to get at Gibson is no one has been able to tell the difference between the Richlight and the ebony, or nobody cares. And finally, I think what this is going to be, this prediction on my part, Gibson is going to start using less and less, if any, ebony and less rosewood, especially on the standard stuff. And there is that sustainability aspect of Richlight, but there's also a machinability aspect. So without getting into an ecological or even, dare I say, political commentary on why people would use this product, the best reason that I can think of is just machining wise. It's consistent, it's homogeneous. You don't have any of the issues with cracking, chipping, warping, that kind of stuff. So from a manufacturing standpoint, I think it makes a lot of sense for Gibson to use this stuff. You can also play the sustainability angle. If people are into that, then that's cool. I do not think that Gibson is going to make a big deal out of the Richlight as an ecological choice based on the humongous success of the Smartwood series of guitars from a few years ago, says me. So the other thing that we noticed when we finally did find one of the Les Paul Customs, I noticed right away that there was a treatment on the back of the headstock, and I said, oh, I see that you also have volutes. Little did I know, volute is a bad word at Gibson, probably because of the Norland era Les Pauls that had volutes. Not because the volutes weren't good, but because the QC on the Norland era stuff is, legendarily lame or whatever. For some reason or another, volute is a bad word at Gibson. So they call this the Apex neck, I think. Roll it, watch for pictures here. So a couple of the guys from Gibson are like, yep, you can drop this on the ground and the headstock won't break off. Although they were not willing to demonstrate that for me, and that was probably a good move. So, but you know what? Good on Gibson for trying to reinforce the notoriously weak headstock area. Another prediction on my part, this is just me saying this here, it will meet with a very cold reception from the Gibson fan base. Not because it's not good, but because it's different. And I think that Gibson is kind of in the middle of a rock and a hard place when it comes to their headstocks. Everybody knows that that's a weak area. Everybody knows that if you accidentally drop that, or even if it's in the case, sometimes you can bust that headstock off. But I still think that the traditionalists out there, and that's people who buy Gibsons, let's face it, are gonna want the traditional headstock. Again, says me. I wish them all the success in the world, but I guess time's going to tell on that one. Finally, we looked at the differences between the standard and the custom Les Paul and the historic reissue ones. There's lots and lots and lots of little differences, and I think that as those differences become more apparent to, again, the Gibson fan base, the historic reissues are going to become more and more popular. So like, for example, the inlay on the historic reissues are nice and crisp, and the trapezoid inlay has points. On the regular standards, they're all rounded over. This is just a machining thing, but it's going to be little stuff like that, again, says me, that are going to make the Gibson fan base, the people who actually buy Gibsons, go more towards the classic traditional stuff and away from the standard. So kudos to Gibson for trying out some new stuff. I hope that it works out for them. I guess we'll see. We had a great time at the Gibson booth. Very, very cool people. Hey, if you like content like this and you want to see more of stuff like this from the 2017 NAMM show, please subscribe. It really helps us out a lot. It's easy to do. Just click the subscribe button. Come on, people. If you have any questions, make sure to leave us a note down in the comment section. We'll try to answer those as best we can. This is Matt at Texas Toast Guitars, reminding you that if you're so smart, build it yourself. That's what I do. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Come on, come on, come on. I see a big titty woman, come on, come on, come on.